What got our attention was the fact that you have been to every presidential gravesite and
Yes.
every vice president's gravesite.
Yes.
Nice story about the Congressional Medal of Honor and why it took 10 years for him to get that, 100 years for him to get that. Go ahead up, you can photograph each other.
Presidential Grave Hunter, one kid's quest to visit the tombs of every president and vice president by Kurt Deion. Tag along for a most unusual ride as the author recounts his life-affirming journey to these tombs and from elementary school neophyte to college history major.
So these are the sarcophagi, or basically coffin containers. So each sarcophagus holds a president and first lady.
With his zany, boundary-pushing father at the wheel, his journey was unorthodox.
Kurt Deion, gravy hunter, here at the original gravesite of Colonel Sanders. We couldn't find the extra crispy one.
Hot dogs. Armor hot dogs.
The straight-laced youngster found himself sneaking a camera past Secret Service agents.
But you got to tell the story about how you,
Right.
between you and your father, on the camera, how you got that in there.
We weren't allowed to take pictures, and he was probably lucky he wasn't tasered or anything by the Secret Service.
Purposely locked in a cemetery enclosed with barbed wire.
Sometimes you're gonna get locked in cemeteries and you have to call security, or you have to climb over the barbed wire.
Handcuffed to the former Dallas homicide detective who was tethered to alleged JFK assassin Lee Harvey Oswald when he was shot by Jack Ruby.
And Mr. Lavelle here was handcuffed to Lee Harvey Oswald, and Oswald was then shot during the transfer by a local nightclub owner named Jack Ruby, and the instance was captured in a famous Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph.
And most daringly, he reluctantly gained entry to a vice president's private family burial ground.
As you know, the one gravesite that everybody has trouble getting to that wants to do this is the Rockefeller gravesite.
Yes, Nelson Rockefeller, vice president for Ford.
How did you do it?
Well, as my father likes to describe it, it's an act of God.
So call it an act of God.
Are there others in your family?
Yes, my mother, Lynn, and my sister, Olivia, who is 3 years younger than I am.
What does she think of all this?
What do you think of James Buchanan, Olivia?
I don't like presidents.
Fantastic. I think she said she loves presidents.
I
And how-
didn't!
In this history-driven memoir, Deion reconstructs his decade-long cross-country quest and analyzes the evolution of his perspective on the commanders-in-chief and what it means to visit a cemetery.
If you're going to the gravesite of President Martin Van Buren in Kinderhook, New York, you could probably dig up his grave and nobody would find out a few days. So you never truly know exactly what you're going to find at a place or who.